Okay, so I'm just in the mood to film right now. This is my third video in a row, but pretty much this one I'm going to be talking about my journey the other day when I was running. I went for a 6-mile run and it ended up being like 7. But during the run, like right before it, I got off from work at night. So I work 12-hour shifts. I'm one of the managers at this Greek restaurant. It's a fucking shithole, but that's besides the point. That's why I'm making these videos, to get out of that place. But I worked a 12-hour shift there, and then so I got up at 9, and then I went to the local running trail that's like 2 minutes away from work, and I thought I had my bag, like my water backpack right here. I thought I brought that, and I thought I had my running shoes, but it turns out I didn't bring my water backpack. And if I'm gonna run more than like 4 or 5 miles, I'm gonna want my water. I'm not gonna carry a water bottle with me for almost an hour of running. That's retarded. So I was like, shit. So while I was waiting at this running trail just to rest my feet, because I was standing for 12 hours, I was waiting for like half an hour. Then I realized that I didn't have that. So it was like almost 10. So I ran home, got that shit. And then my parents wanted to, they had to talk to me for like half an hour about some stuff, some just personal family life stuff. But that took like another half hour, and it was already 10:30, and I was planning on waking up at 4:30 the next day, which I did. But I was like, shit, I'm already gonna be at like 5 hours of sleep, because even if I speed run this run, it's gonna be 11:30. If I get home, eat, shower, that's another half hour. That's midnight. So I'm gonna be at 4.5 hours of sleep, and I was planning on running 12 miles the next day. And I was like, shit, I don't want to do this run because it's gonna fuck up the next day, and it's just gonna carry over to the next day and just slow me down. I was like, this run is not gonna be worth it. And then I was like contemplating that shit for like another 15 minutes. I was just stuck sitting on my, not even on my phone, just on my bed doing nothing. I was like, damn, I'm gonna be fucked up if I don't do this. And it took me like 15 minutes of just sitting there just to realize that, hey, if I don't do this, I'm a fucking pussy. And everything in me was telling me to stay in bed and just to go to sleep and hit the hay and then just get ready for the next day. But there's that little voice in my head, that little tiny voice. You know how we have like, the analogy is like the angel and the demon. The demon always tells you, you know, what feels good in the moment, what you should do. And then the angel is always like, you need to do this because it's good for you. That angel was so soft-spoken in that moment, because the demon was so loud. But I heard it, and I listened to it, and I went outside, and within the first quarter mile, I was like, this shit is so ass. This shit is ass. It is absolutely, utterly not gonna be worth it. Running for, I think it was like an hour to 15 minutes to do 7 miles, which is not a bad pace, but that's besides the point. And after like a mile, I don't know what it was, but something in my head like freaked me the fuck out. I was like, I am leaving so much on the table just in life in general, just by not starting things and waiting too long to do things and missing the opportunity. Like, I didn't even realize, like, a mile into that run, I had that realization. I started like getting chills for like a few minutes when I was running. I had to stop because I was so freaked out. I was like, God is telling me right now that I need to not only lock in, not with only God, but with my ambitions and my goals. Okay, ambitions are the first step to goals, because if you're not even going to think about a goal, which is ambition, if you're not even going to think about a goal, there's no point in having one, because you're never going to reach it. Okay, ambitions are just the thoughts. Goals are your achievement from that thought. Okay, you need to start with the thought, and then you get the achievement from the thought. It's a 2-step process. Okay, so I have tons of ambitions, and few people know them, but one of them is to be able to consistently wake up early. And this run was like, had me all jacked up because I knew that shit was not going to happen the next day. I knew that shit was just going to be so fucked in the morning from 4 hours of sleep. But I still went on this run. And like I said, I got chills a mile in. And I started screaming. I started fucking screaming out loud because I was so just overwhelmed with that thought of leaving stuff on the table. And as men, we can't do that. We can't just leave stuff on the table for other people to take. Not even for other people to take, for ourselves to leave there. We have to go out there and fulfill our purpose. We have to go out there and fulfill our ambitions. We have to go out there and do what we're meant to do and say what we do and do what we say. And a lot of you motherfuckers, including myself, that's why I'm making this video, including myself, will not do what they say. So we have to change that as men. That's why our society of men is weak. We're fucking weak, man. And I could go on for an hour about, because of men's weakness, this changed, that changed, this changed, that changed. But it's just, we have to hold ourselves accountable and do what we say. End of story. Period. We have to hold ourselves accountable. Love you, boys. Peace.